we said.
You are listening to hosted by Mike Lee and Susie.
No, I'm so glad you did. I totally remember. I don't want to tell too much, but I totally remember dancing to Funk You Right On Up.
Oh,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And we're also going to have Bahamadia there.
Uh-huh.
She's out of Philadelphia, and she's definitely a legend. And we have Sparky D, who was around in the 80s, another legend. We have all kinds of legends.
Wow.
And this was the brainchild of MC Shallrock, Sharon Jackson, who was the first female MC.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the person that even got people like DMC from Run DMC interested in being an MC.
Wow.
So we're going to have all these legends in the house, plus a lot of new school people from shows like Love and Hip Hop. They're all coming out to support the event at the Alhambra Ballroom. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, but I'm a very, very busy person, and I'm involved in lots and lots of other things, mainly magazine journalism.
Well, that is great. So how did you get started in the biz, and how do you stay so passionate about it, Cynthia?
I don't know how I stay passionate. I guess it's because when I learned at an early age that I was good at something, I just wrote it as far as I could write it.
Just stuck it out.
I've been writing since I was about 6 years old. And at the time, I was doing creative writing. Teachers encouraged me to do that. Then I started entering all these different writing contests because I liked winning prizes.
Uh-huh.
So that was really fun for me for years as a kid. And then when I got a little older, I started working on the high school newspaper and our local newspaper. And then I went to college and I studied journalism, of course. And then after that, I started working in the working world in magazine journalism, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow. That's amazing. So what are some of your current business ventures right now?
Well, right now, I'm the editor-in-chief of Hip Hop Weekly, and for those who are not familiar with Hip Hop Weekly, it's on the newsstands along with Star, In Touch, and a lot of other magazines that are geared toward entertainment. And it's also a magazine that has been featured on various reality shows, including Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So that's where I spend a lot of my time. And I also have my own public relations firm called Cinnamon Chips and a photo agency called Cinnamon Flicks that my husband runs.
Wow, that's major.
Yeah, so I do all of that, and I've started a book publishing company, and I'm going to be coming out with juvenile books for little kids. I have my memoir coming out, and I have other friends who've written books that want to be underneath Cynthia Horner Book Publishing. So we're going to do all of that. And I'm also in the process of starting a record label called Horner Records.
Horner Records?
Yes.
Awesome. That's good to know.
Yes, and Horner Records is going to have two divisions. It's going to have a division for young people, and then we're going to have an adult division for people that do contemporary R&B music.
Wow, that's refreshing to hear that there's an outlet for good R&B and adult contemporary as well as hip hop, because one sometimes outweigh the other.
Yes,
in
and one of the
sales and all of
reasons
that.
why I wanted to have a record label is the fact that there are many artists out here who have not had an opportunity to have a chance. You can always go the independent route, but if somebody has an opportunity to have the expertise of Cynthia Horner, they may as well take advantage of it, because
Correct.
I'm a person who knows how to market people, I know how to publicize them, and I know what sounds good because I have been associated with the biggest artists in music history. So I've had many years to really learn a lot and be in the studio with these different legends, and I know what standards of excellence actually are.
That's awesome. This is a good segue because we can start right now. We're talking about your expertise and indie artists. So let's talk about indie artists and that side of the business. What makes better sense, Cynthia? Is it that should an artist be on a label or should they be independent?
Well, I think these days it makes more sense for people to be independent because, first of all, there are very few record companies left. Very few major record companies still exist because a lot of smaller labels got absorbed into the bigger labels.
Right.
But another problem we have is if we want to be real and talk about African Americans in music, there are very few African American heads of record labels anymore. There's a few. We have L.A. Reid, we have Sylvia Rome, we have several other people, but it's not like back in the day where we actually had black music divisions that got started in the 70s, and they had a lot of artists under those rosters. So these days, I think that what people should do is go the independent route, take it as far as they can take it. Try to get your social media numbers up as far as you can. Try to do as many shows as you can. Make sure that those shows are documented through video. Try to get YouTube channels. Get all of the tools that you need, because if you make enough noise on your own, you're going to get signed by a larger label anyway, because they want to know what can you bring to the table. But by going the independent route, it gives people an opportunity to at least get their feet wet and get in the door, because sometimes artists get involved with the music industry and they don't really like it. So if you go independent, there's not as much money being put out, and it gives you an opportunity to get some experience and decide, are you really, really willing to grind? Because that's what you're going to have to do. I don't care if you're a superstar. You have to grind these days because you have to earn the loyalty of your consumer base. And even if you had a consumer base, you want to keep whatever base you have. So you have to keep massaging that. You have to develop a lot of relationships, and you definitely need to get publicity. There's no question of that. You've got to have some kind of publicity so that people understand who you are, because if people don't know you, then why would they care about you?
Very well said. Well said. What are some of the mistakes artists, large and small, make these days?
Well, the biggest mistake is airing all their business on social media. It takes people like publicists to try to clean up a lot of the damage that is done that way, because what happens is artists speak from the heart, and if they get upset with somebody or they get upset with the label, they get upset with their spouse or significant other, they want to air it out on social media because they feel like they're talking to that person. But when you put something on social media, you're not just talking to the person to whom you're upset, you're talking to the world. And then you have to try to clean it up, or you have to try to say your account got hacked or somebody misunderstood or whatever. But it's too late by then.
Right.
Once it's out there, it's out there. And that is definitely the biggest mistake that people make, talking too much on the Internet, getting their business out there like that, and also showing photos of themselves that don't need to be seen by anybody. Mm-hmm. For instance, a lot of females like to try to post photos where you see their whole body, and sometimes their body isn't really clothed. They think that that photo is going to a specific individual. It may start out getting to that individual, but from there, anything can be forwarded. And once it gets forwarded, it can get downloaded, it could end up on Facebook, et cetera, and it's very embarrassing and humiliating. And in some cases, what you've done is actually illegal because it could be considered intent to distribute pornography if the person isn't wearing any clothes or whatever. So artists these days have to be very careful with their social media. They have to be careful about who they have handling their social media, because sometimes the artist is not the person sending out these tweets and posting things on Instagram. That might be another individual who has another agenda, and that person may get the celebrity in trouble because of the different postings. So people have to be very careful with social media. They also have to be very, very careful with any of the devices that they own, whether it's a telephone, a cell phone, or a laptop. Because if any of these items get lost or stolen, someone has access to a lot of personal business. They have access to photos they shouldn't have. There may be some business documents. If you're an actor or an actress, you might have a script that was sent to you that is confidential because the project has not come out at the movie theaters or television yet. So there's quite a bit that people have to look out for these days that we didn't have to worry about years ago, because years ago we didn't have cell phones, we did not have laptops, we didn't have any of this stuff. So we didn't have to really worry about it back in the day. But right now, it's really a big concern. Anytime you look on the internet, you can read stories about all the different people, celebrities offering $1 million for the return of a laptop because it's got music in it that they've produced and written, et cetera, et cetera. Could be they could have been in the film profession, and they might have some original scripts as documents that somebody can access and actually try to use. So these are the kind of problems that we all are facing these days.
Amen. I definitely agree with that. Today, what is your opinion on female hip-hop artists?
Well, there's a couple of good ones out there now. I was just at the announcement that they made for the BET Awards. The BET Awards will be coming up the last weekend in June, as it does every year, and they're going to broadcast from the Nokia Theater in Los Angeles. And one of my favorites got nominated for something. Her name is Lo, and she's the girlfriend of Lil Durk, who is a rapper out of Chicago that made a lot of noise. In fact, they actually did a video together for a song that he has called My Beyonce, because she's his girlfriend, and in his opinion, she is a Beyonce in his eyes. Mm-hmm. So she's very good. She's out of Detroit, and she actually got a cosmetic endorsement recently because they did a campaign with some new artists, and she's one of the female artists that got chosen. So she is somebody that people should not sleep on. If you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with Lo, you need to look her up on the internet. You'll see her cute face. But she's nominated for Best Female Hip-Hop Artist in the same category with the following people: Lil' Kim, Missy Elliott, Nicki Minaj, and Remy Ma.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I mean, for a newcomer, that's pretty major. Yeah, for a newcomer, that's pretty major.
Yes, it is, and that's why I said I've been on the Lo for a while, and now here she is, and she is probably going to win. I feel that she certainly stands that chance because she's different. She's speaking to the millennials, and she's out there grinding. Yeah. You know, she's not just sitting back. She is working all the time. She's either touring, she's making videos, working on new music with people like her boyfriend, Lil Durk, and all kinds of other people. Wow. So that's somebody that I feel is doing well. Now, Nicki Minaj is definitely an icon. I've known her since I'd say about 2010, and I did one of the first big interviews with her. And I'm really impressed with Nicki Minaj from the standpoint that she has taken business to a completely different level. Mm-hmm. She has her own fragrance line. She also has lots of parts in films. Most recently, you could see her in Barbershop, The Next Cut. So she is really taking hip-hop in a totally different direction because Nicki Minaj is somebody who is making millions and millions of dollars, where unfortunately some of our pioneers haven't been in that situation where they could make money like that.
Right, right. Wow, that's major. So what is it like working with the Women of Hip Hop, the Women of Hip Hop Committee, and what events do you have coming up with that committee?
Well, besides our event that we're having June 3rd, which is our fundraiser at the Alhambra Ballrooms, featuring such artists as Angie B. Stone, Bahamadia, Sparky D, and others. We also have a women's networking seminar called Know Your Worth, and we're going to have various people speaking about domestic abuse, self-esteem, and other topics that are of concern to people today, and men are invited to that as well. And then the third day of our weekend, we are having a community picnic in the Bronx, which is the birthplace of hip-hop, and it's a free event where all kinds of people from the community will be coming out to support the event, and there's going to be a lot of music, a lot of refreshments, and I got to give a shout-out. Our event for Know Your Worth is being sponsored by Ty, the original hip-hop chef, and he plans to really pamper the women by giving them the treat of a lifetime with his amazing meal.
Wow, that's great. So,
yeah.
So let's talk about Cynthia a little bit. And your free time, in your free time when there's no work, no editing, no producing. What do you do with your free time? Who is Cynthia Horner when she's not working?
Cynthia Horner will be where I am right now. I am in front of a park that overlooks an ocean. I love water. I love scenery. Mm-hmm. And see, since I'm from California and now I'm on the East Coast, I have to drive a little bit far to get to the ocean, but that's what I do. I like to walk along the ocean, and I have my iPhone with a radio station that is programmed in so that I could listen to any songs that I want. So I listen, as I walk, I listen to all the different old school artists who I've interviewed over the years. So you'll hear me listening to Michael Jackson and Prince and Whitney Houston, a lot of people that unfortunately are no longer here, and I listen to that music. And also, I like to read. I am passionate about reading. I read so much that the librarians sometimes prevent me from taking some of the books because they say I take too many. Mm-hmm. But that's because I'm a speed reader and I can return them really quickly. But they're always saying, Cynthia, you have to save some books for other people. And I'm like, nobody wants to read all these books with me, so let me alone.
Let you have those books.
I love to read. I read all kinds of things. I like romantic fiction. I have a couple of favorite authors who do that. And then I like to read biographies, get some ideas for my memoir that I'm working on.
Right.
And I just read everything. I'm interested in so many different subjects, so I just go to the library and I just immerse myself in books and come out with a whole handful, or armful actually. And let's see, what else do I like to do? I like to travel. I love traveling. My favorite place that I ever went to was Egypt. Unfortunately, with all the trouble that's going on over there, I don't think I'll be able to get back there. But I have been there before because when I was little, I used to want to be an archaeologist. And I've been to Egypt. I've ridden around on the camels and talked to all the people there, and I told them that I was in the magazine business. And you won't believe what two celebrities all these people over in Egypt would ask me about.
I'm going to guess one. Would it be?
Okay.
Is Whitney one of them?
Nope.
I'm going to let you have it.
Okay. the two top celebrities that they liked over in Egypt that they figured that I knew were Michael Jackson and
okay.
Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Can you believe it?
Okay, I threw Michael out there just as you were
Dogg.
talking. But yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's because over there they would get to see certain music videos that would run on MTV and those kind of channels, and that's why Snoop Dogg was very interesting to them. You know, I guess because of his voice and his look and everything, they found him quite fascinating. So they would ask me about him and, of course, Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson is the biggest celebrity that was ever in music, and we all miss him very much.
That's absolutely true. So I got one more question for you, and then we're definitely going to let you go. But I just want you to know we could do this all night, but we're limited for time. Do you like reality TV?
I like some of it, yes.
And which shows do you feel are impactful to our people, and how can television promote an artist's career?
Well, the shows that I like the most are, well, let's see. There's so many, I don't know where to start. But what I will say is this. There are some where there's a lot of fighting and trouble. I don't really care for those too much. But I do like the family oriented shows. One of them is the Braxton Family Values. I just did a new interview with them. I also like Vincent Tamar because I know them personally. And I like the Jacksons when they had a reality show. So any of the family-oriented ones, those are my favorite. Now, what I will say is reality TV has been a godsend for entertainers because you can make a lot of money being associated with reality TV, not necessarily as a cast member, but as Candy Barres puts it, reality TV is one big infomercial. So if you have anything that you want to promote, you put it on your show, like she does on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and people go crazy over those products, and they want the products because they feel they know the celebrity whose products they are. So that has really helped our community in terms of employment and being able to help these entertainers sustain. Because even if you don't have a record deal, if you're on reality TV, you can make money because you can do hosting, you can do all kinds of appearances, you can do books, you can sell hair, you can sell cosmetics, you can sell the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, it's a great way to really, like you say, to promote, rebrand. And I mean, K. Michelle is a prime example because
Right.
K. Michelle was, I won't say defunct. I think she still sort of had a chance. She has a great voice, but reality TV just was a platform for her to come out and
Right.
really do
there
her
are
thing.
so many people that admire K. Michelle, and they get to see everything because she has no filter. So therefore, you get to see her whole life on TV. Just about, you know what she likes, what she doesn't like. You get to see all the different hairstyles, all her wonderful clothes. I mean, it's just really amazing.
Right.
And I think that when reality TV started, we just figured it was a flash in the pan when they had shows like I Love New York and Survivor. And reality TV has actually survived, whereas certain other networks have actually gone out of business because they just didn't have the viewership. But reality TV, it's people's guilty pleasure. And like some reality TV stars said that when the public is watching reality TV, they feel like they actually have relatives that are like the people they see on reality TV.
Right.
So therefore, they identify with the different celebrities that are on there.
Right. Right.
I want to shout out to Mama D. That's one of my favorite people.
Mama D.
And Deborah Antony from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
It's definitely a trip.
They make me smile.
Yeah, they do. Well, Cynthia, I think you're fascinating. I have been a fan of your writing, even when I didn't know who you were from Right On Magazine and now to Hip Hop Weekly. So you're fascinating. You are a go-getter. You've been grinding, and you are as big as a celebrity that we kind of under the rock at times, as big as some of the hip hop acts that are out there. You have been in the face of some of the legends that are here and who are not here anymore, and much success to you.
Well,
anything
thank
that you do.
And I will be glad to come back on the air sometimes. As you can tell, I like to talk.
Well, I like to talk, but I like to listen.
I just get so carried away because I'm so passionate about everything that I do. As you can see, people said they have never met anyone more enthusiastic about work than me.
Wow.
You know, that's what they say about me.
Well, that is great. Well, definitely we want to hear more about the record label and other stuff that you're doing. I also, we here at Radar Radio, we independent artists, hip-hop, the community at large. I mean, I love a lot of music, and I've been in the music industry for a while, but we are pretty much dedicated to independent artists and, to helping them get from point A to point B. And I've got some artists here. One artist is Blake Holmes and Mia J. They're in the studio here. They wanted to hear the interview tonight, and they also co-host here. And then I have my co-host. Her name is Susie. You may have seen her on the site. She's here too. So they want to say hello to you and just because I've been doing the whole interview, but I definitely wanted you to know who they were and for them to give you a little shout out. Folks.
Yeah. And
Hi,
tell them to
Susie.
follow
I'm
me on
so blessed
Twitter.
to have you on here, and I've learned a lot. I'm going to take down my Facebook page right now and
Yep.
clean up some things.
Me too.
Uh-oh.
Go start cleaning it up.
Right.
You guys do though.
And let's
Yeah.
get that reality TV show going, Mike.
I know, right? Well, Cynthia, thank you again for your time.
Well, thank you for everyone at the station, and just keep me on radar with your shows.
Oh, we
And
definitely
also,
will.
You get to be the first to say happy birthday to me because my birthday is in a few hours.
No way. Well, this is great.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday to
you.
you. Well, that is great. Well, you answered one of the questions I didn't get to, and that was when was your birthday? But we were
Yep,
going
it's May
so
21st.
wow,
Yep.
Hey,
right around the
birthdays,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
right around.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Blake and Mia's birthday is next week, so you guys are all
Okay,
in
so
this-
we're all Geminis.
All
I'm the
Geminis.
birthday of Gemini.
Yeah,
There's a lot
yeah.
of Geminis out there. Patti LaBelle's a Gemini. Prince, rest in peace to Prince. He was a Gemini too, and we will never forget him.
Yeah, that is very true. That was a
Yep,
great
he
loss.
was one of my favorites. I was the first person to ever give him a national interview.
Wow.
He hunted me down. He didn't even go through a PR person. He went directly to me. And that's what a lot of people have done. And that's something that I can say for artists that are on their indie grind. Sometimes that's what you have to do. If you can get to somebody who may be able to help you with your career, they can give you a jump start.
Right.
And that's what Prince did because he needed that jump start. He needed somebody to believe in him because at the time he got started, he was doing something that artists didn't do, which was try to produce their own music as a teenager. That just wasn't done back then. So he had to get directly to somebody who could help get the message out about what he was doing. And I think that's what a lot of people have to do. Just don't sit back and wait. If you don't have anybody to help you, sometimes you just have to do for yourself.
That is very true. Wait on no one. You got to kick the
Yep.
doors open on your own.
Right.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. With that being said, I just want to say again, thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll definitely have to talk to
Have
you
a good
again.
Evening, and
happy birthday to
I
you.
appreciate the opportunity. Shout out to Edna Sims Porter for hooking us up together.
Yes, my girl Edna.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you again,
Okay.
Cynthia. We'll talk with you again.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.